This character is somewhere between Yai and Fortnite, and I think I kind of like it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be looking at Rappa from the creator experience server for Honkai Star Rail. This is for patch 2.6, I think. Honestly, it's getting hard to keep track. This character is super sick. I'm stoked to show you how she plays. But just real quick, before we get into it, I do have to let you guys know this is an early access video, which means that things are subject to change from when you're watching this. And once again, it's on the creator experience server, so things are not entirely finalized. With all that being said, though, let me show you this character. So you know how we just got like Mualani over in Genshin Impact and she can like surf and stuff? HSR really just didn't want to miss out on that. So look, we can actually surf around. Like when the Splatoon is happening, it's kind of cool though. Like you go so fast, and it's good for traversal if you're meaning to do that. You can also enter battle via this, but I think all the colors are really stimulating for my brain, so that's a good thing for me, at least. I don't know about you guys, but anyways, this is sort of her character design. On the back, you can kind of see this thing. It looks like fire, but I'm not actually entirely sure what it is. Like if I touched it, would my hand burn, or is it kind of like not real? It's hard to say, but her design is pretty cool. I like it a lot. Before we go into combat, I have 151 speed and I have a really bad crit rate. Why? Because she's actually a super break character. I have 173 break effect and I have 3.4k attack. Much like Firefly, she does scale somewhat off of attack, except this one feels a little bit easier to cap out. As you can see, she has another trace here when you get close to max level. When an enemy target becomes weakness broken, it increases the break damage they take by 2%, and this can go up to 8% for every 100 excess attack after 2400. That means that you only need 3200 attack, and everything after that is technically stat waste, and it lasts for 2 turns after an enemy gets weakness broken. But I'm gonna be honest, guys, with this character, you're gonna be breaking a lot of enemies, so you're probably not gonna have to worry about that. But rather than explain her whole kit, it's best to just show you, so we'll go hop into Memory of Chaos. Just for this example, I'm using Eternal Calculus, which is a free-to-play light cone from the Herda shop, and I'm using 2-piece Talia for the planar set and Iron Cavalry for the 4-piece set. For the build real quick, I'm going attack percent chest piece, speed boots, attack percent orb, and a break effect rope. Oh, and E0 as usual. So let's just hop right into it. So as mentioned before, this is a super break character, so we're going to be playing her in a super break team. We have Harmony Trailblazer, Rappa, Ronmei, and Linksha together, and Linksha is going to help us get some more break damage and also be a cleanser. Basically Gallagher plus. You can play Gallagher here, and that's totally fine. Ronmei for the break efficiency and for the bonuses to our speed and things like that, and then Rappa because we're literally showcasing the character. All right, so we're just going to run around. If you make contact with an enemy, it just starts battle. So boom, just like that. All right, so it's Rappa's turn. We have her at a whopping, after buffs, 176 speed. It's supposed to be because of that Ronmei buff. We're getting an extra like 10 speed. But typically, you don't need her to be that high. But all right, so as you can see, she has a single target basic attack, and if you use her skill, it becomes AoE. That's because she's an erudition character, meaning she's meant to slap the ever-living crap out of all of these guys. And for a quick explanation of what both of them do, her basic attack is nothing special until you use her ultimate, so we're not going to worry about that right away. And her skill just does damage to everyone. But what you're actually going to notice here is that every single time you break an enemy weakness, and it doesn't have to be with Rappa, it's just anytime an enemy's weakness is broken, she gets 1 point of charge, up to a maximum of 10. And when you launch the third hit of her ultimate, it deals additional break damage, which affects your super break damage, and it actually ignores weakness type when you use her ultimate. The toughness reduction is reduced when you're ignoring weakness type, but you also get some bonuses from it. Now, the instances of charge, we have 3 right off the bat from her technique because we came into battle and hit them, so 3 enemies are weakness broken. But as you can see, we also have these 3 little tick boxes like Harmony MC has. And actually, I don't think I activated my Harmony MC Eidolon, so I'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So now we have the opportunity to attack with Rappa, and I'm gonna just show you her animations. They're super sick. Our goal is just gonna be to break everything and do super break damage, but first we got to get our Harmony MC's ultimate up. So go ahead and use this. And it's just something about that is just so visually stimulating for my brain. Maybe I'm actually just a monkey, but like I genuinely love all those colors on the screen. Oh my God. You could jingle keys in front of me and I think I would find probably similar enjoyment to that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and skill with Linksha. Get some super break damage. My Linksha, I believe, is built with an ER rope, so her super break damage is not actually that crazy. And now that we have Harmony MC up again, we're actually just gonna basic attack this guy on the left because I want to get skill points back. We're gonna go ahead and basic attack this guy with Ronmei, and then they're gonna attack us and give us the rest of the energy we need, essentially. So Bunny's gonna attack. We're gonna go ahead and use Ronmei's ultimate here, just because it's up and we're doing that. They're gonna hit everyone, not everyone. I don't know, sometimes they'll just wide swing at everyone and you'll get some energy, but it's okay. So we came up on Rappa's ultimate right now, and as you can see, they have the 3 stacks empty and the 10 stacks of charge. What we're going to do We're gonna go ahead and use her ultimate. And dude, it looks so sick. It looks so freaking cool. I absolutely love this. I can't think of what it reminds me of. I think there's a specific mission in Sonic Adventure Director's Cut that I played on GameCube a long time ago where you like run down a building, and I think it's a little bit of that combined with the Fortnite drop trail. But anyway, so now we're in her ultimate. As you can see, she has these 3 charges and these 10 stacks. Well, the 3 charges are actually the amount of times you can use the enhanced basic attack. And sorry, I don't mean just the enhanced basic attack. I mean the combo of enhanced basic attacks, right? So this guy still has toughness to break, so we're gonna go ahead and hit them once. Boom. All right, 81k, they're broken. Now we can hit the middle one. Boom, 129. And the last hit is gonna be AoE, and it's actually gonna do less toughness reduction, but it's gonna hit everything. And it's pretty disgusting. You'll see this drop off here. Boom, 884k. And now we just get to go again. The reason is because when you activate her ultimate, she actually gets an extra turn. So that those first 3 attacks were her extra turn. Now is her actual turn. So we get to do this, and boom, that guy is done. We're on to the next phase, and we use 2 sequences of that. And now Rappa's up again because we just switched cycles, and she is the fastest character. So we get to go 3 times in a row. As you see, we're gonna go ahead and blast, and we're gonna AoE right here. Boom, bunny comes up, and we can ult right again for an extra turn. Now, one thing to know, there is one super important thing. Essentially, her basic attacks are a little strange. So they're actually generating energy. You saw we got our ultimate almost right away after that, right? So her basic attacks are generating normal amount of basic attack energy. Her ult is going to give her 5 energy, which is normal. Her basic attack 1 in the combo is going to give 5 energy and dish out 10 toughness break. Her basic attack 2 is going to be 5 energy and 10 toughness break as well. So that's 10 energy and 20 toughness break in the first 2 hits. The third hit is going to give you the last 10 energy of the basic attack. So you still are getting 20 energy with the basic attack, but the last hit is AoE, so it's actually only doing 5 toughness break on each enemy. But if we go and look at her talent, the third hit's going to get all of the buffs and bonuses to it. So even though it is AoE, your main target's going to take a ton more damage. But okay, so that 25 energy shouldn't be enough to get your ult back, right? Well, you also have other buffs as well. When you break an elite level or higher enemy's weakness, you're actually getting a bonus 10 energy. So if there's multiple elites and you break them, Rappa's getting an extra 10. And on top of that, just getting enemy defeats and defeating enemies in general gives you a lot of energy too. So all of those things combined to help her build up her ultimate again. We got 20 energy from her basic. Her ultimate was an extra 5, so 25 energy plus another 20 because she moved right away again, and all of the weakness breaks and all of the enemy KOs, which basically led us to just having another one right away. So that's how we got our ultimate back so fast. One other thing to note is that while you're in seal form state, which is your ultimate, you actually get increased weakness break efficiency and break effect, which is nice because Raw May also gives you some of that, right? But on top of that, there's a trace that makes it so that you actually convert toughness reduction from instances of damage to extra super break damage, which helps her dish out even more damage. You can see she's doing a lot, right? So go ahead and watch this. We're gonna go ahead and break them. Boom, 137, boom, 200k. And the third hit's gonna slap. Are you ready? 1.2 mil. Now, I feel like I don't need to remind you guys of this, but I will, just because I want to make sure everyone's on the same page if maybe you'd skip to this part of the video. Rappa is on a free-to-play light code at E0. So this amount of damage is pretty insane. We'll go in AoE because we have the we have the skill points to do it. And then we'll also go and do the same thing here. Use our skill. Ron May's asleep. It's okay. She's a little EP. I'm gonna hit this guy with the second one, get toughness down, and then this should kill, or this should break him. Boom. And we actually get one more sequence of those. So as long as these guys get broken, we should be chilling. We're gonna go ahead and skill on Link Shot, bring Banui up. And now for Rappa's next turn, this is not gonna be a 0 cycle, unfortunately, but now for Rappa's next turn, they're dead. That's their gift, is they get to perish on Rappa's next turn. We need to skill on Ron May, so we're gonna do that. And Rappa's ultimate comes back up. I mean, these guys are mostly dead anyways, but check this out. Boom, 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 401k, and we had her ultimate back again. So to be honest, she seems pretty good to me. Based on my first impressions, kind of looking at and playing the character, she seems pretty dang good to me. I feel like she's a pretty solid character overall. Now, is she better than like Firefly or Acheron or Boot Hill? It's honestly kind of hard to say because MOC is going to feature things that are going to put certain characters ahead of others. That's just kind of how it is. But I do think she is a really solid character. Considering we're using Eternal Calculus on this, we're not using her signature. It's she does a lot of damage. I think what makes me happy about this is that she's an erudition character and she's just smashing MOC. Granted, MOC has like, I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I can here. MOC does have multiple enemies and multiple trash mobs this time around. It doesn't always have 5 enemies, and sometimes it only has like 4. But just because MOC has more than 3 enemies, I feel like it makes it worth it for her. And even then, she has like 2 of her hits are blast anyways, so it's not like she's always going to be hitting all 5 enemies every single time. She just seems like her damage holds up in multiple game modes. I tried her in Pure Fiction. She works there as well. I actually found a lot of success with her too in Apocalyptic Shadow. Now that was something that surprised me a lot, because Apocalyptic Shadow I thought was meant to be like the hunt game mode or like the single target game mode, but realistically Apocalyptic Shadow kind of changes by the patch, and in general teams that can break the enemy are really just king in that game mode. And because Rappa is a break character, she does very, very well. Let me go ahead and show you her light cone too, by the way, just while we're looking at it. I'll go ahead and equip it just so you guys can see. It's going to increase your break effect by 60%, which is pretty good, but as you guys saw, I was using Eternal Calculus and it was fine. When you enter battle, you immediately get 30 energy. This seems huge for her just to be able to get started early. You'd be able to start right at the start of the fight as opposed to her second turn. And then after you use your ultimate, you would get Raiton. And after using 2 basic attacks, it advances her action forward by 50% and removes Raiton. Now you have to use her ultimate to reset Raiton, but it basically just makes it so that you get action forward, which is super nice. She does benefit a lot from action forward. And in fact, let me tell you about her teams real quick. So the unfortunate thing about Super Break teams is that they are pretty limited right now. There are really solid supports in the game that just, I would say they just work like pretty well with most Super Break characters. There are some pretty solid supports in the game right now for free-to-play players. Like Harmony Trailblazer is just incredible and completely enables the archetype for people. And of course you have March as a sub DPS if you want to play like Apoc Shadow or something. March can end up being a pretty solid fill if you don't have someone like Ruan Mei to help you out. But Ruan Mei is going to be the go-to support. Like you definitely want to have Harmony Trailblazer and Ruan Mei together if you're going to play Rappa. If you remove Trailblazer and there's not another character that enables Super Break, you may be in for a little bit of trouble getting her to do a ton of damage, because she does do her own instance of Super Break damage, but it's not going to be on the same level as just using Harmony Trailblazer. And Ruan Mei is going to give you that break efficiency that's going to make breaking with Rappa even easier, as well as the speed buff for your whole team, which is super nice. Now Linkshaw I was running because it's like optimal, but you can also just use Gallagher. Gallagher fills in. It basically does very, very similar things. He has a cleanse on his skill if you have his Eidolons. He does have general self-healing for your team, and he does a ton of damage with Super Break team. So Gallagher is the GOAT, and he's going to continue to be the GOAT. But because Rappa is an imaginary character, and you might play her against imaginary weak enemies if you choose to, Adventuring can also be pretty solid. He does work better in follow-up teams if you're just looking for synergy, but because he is a character that's going to keep you alive at all costs, and he's going to also help slowly whittle down imaginary shields, Adventuring can also be solid. Plus Ruan Mei is going to buff Adventuring's damage bonus, which also helps. Now, who could you use now as for other supports, if you're looking for something a little more free-to-play friendly, if you don't have Ruan Mei, first off, I highly recommend you pull for Ruan Mei because she's amazing, unless she just instantly gets power crept, but it hasn't happened yet. So, you know, Ruan Mei's super solid character to pick up. But Bronya is a character that you can use to fill in just to use action forward on Rappa to get her more instances and opportunities to attack. It's not going to be as powerful as Ruan Mei. This is just more of like if you're free to play and you happen to have a Bronya with you, this is an option for you if you want to play Rappa. And if you happen to pull for Sparkle, it's a similar deal. She has 50% action forward, so she can pull Rappa up, give her more turns, stuff like that. I wouldn't recommend trying to go like crit Rappa and playing like Asta or anything like that. I just don't think that's super worth it. The only other characters you're really playing instead of Ruan Mei are going to be Bronya Sparkle, or if you want to run a sub DPS, you can also play like March, or if you're in Pure Fiction, you can play Jade. But generally speaking, because Rappa isn't like a follow-up character, you're going to want to stick with this one if you can. And that's what I would say is Rappa's like biggest downside. People are saying she's weak because they say that like she didn't power creep Firefly, she didn't power creep Boot Hill, she didn't power creep Acheron, so she's not worth pulling. If that's how you feel about characters, that's fine. You don't have to pull for her, right? But I feel like she does do her job fairly well. You can definitely zero cycle with this character, especially with a better build and more preparedness, more resets potentially. This character is definitely capable of doing that. I also really like that all of her traces are meaningful for her. Getting the break effect, speed, and the attack percent are all super nice for her. I know like a lot of characters will have like HP stats randomly, and like you get them because you want the character to live, but like it would be so much nicer if the stats went into something a little bit easier for you to be able to build into. And as I mentioned before, since you can zero cycle this character at E0, you don't need Eidolons, but if you want to get Eidolons, here's what they do. Essentially, her seal form state is just her ultimate. This makes it so that she ignores 15% of target defense, and after her seal form, she gets 20 energy back. So it just makes it even faster to recover her ultimate. Her E2 is going to enhance her basic attacks first 2 hits. Her second Eidolon is going to enhance her enhanced basic attacks even further to make it so that they have more toughness reduction. So as I mentioned to you guys before, they have 10 toughness reduction normally on those first 2 basic attacks, but they're actually going to have 15 after this. So that'll be super helpful. That'll basically put you at 35 toughness break instead of 25, which can be pretty dang good. Her E3 is a skill and talent level up. Her E4 is gonna also, but her E4 is more of a supporting ability, which I think is really interesting. It's going to increase all of your allies' speed by 12%. So do with that information what you will. I don't think that's like super necessary because obviously, like I said, we can already zero cycle, but you know, if you're gonna E6, that's a nice little bonus to have. Might make speed tuning a little weird if you do any of that with her in the team, but most people aren't doing that. E5 is going to be ultimate or basic attack level up. And E6 is going to make it so that when the battle starts, she gets 5 points of the talent's charge right off the bat. And after you launch a 3rd hit of her ultimate, you get 5 points of charge back immediately. So anytime you're using those points from her ultimate, specifically the 3rd hit, you're instantly able to get more points back. Now, this only matters because you're able to get her ultimate faster if you have things like her light cone, which is going to help you get to ult 1 turn sooner, and then the next turn you'll be able to start getting more energy back, and then your other Eidolons, that's going to give you more energy. I believe that was E1. So, and then of course, because you have Eidolons, you're potentially defeating enemies faster, which is just more energy more quickly. That's the only reason you really need the talent charge here, but that's only if you're gonna have Eidolons in the first place. So guys, I'm gonna keep it real. I wouldn't go for the Eidolons, and frankly, I wouldn't go for the light cone either. But if you're a fan of this character, or maybe the streamer MyRuby, this design might be for you, and maybe you want to pull for them. I'm gonna be pulling for Rappa for sure, especially over my Twitch, twitch.tv/Brax, but I don't think she's a must pull. I don't think she's bad. I think people doom posting this character are a little silly, because you guys just saw what she's capable of doing. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this first impressions first look, make sure to let me know down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, or don't, and I guess I'll go cry about it probably. I have a full Rappa guide coming out soon, and I have some other videos lined up for this patch as well, and I'm really hoping you guys enjoy them. Until next time, gamers,